Hey friends, welcome to week 66 of Theme Park Thursday, and this is the title page of what will be the third and final volume of this Disney trip that I took with my daughters in March of 2022. I really wanted to use Sweet Summer for this layout and try to keep it consistent with the other two title pages. I think I did a good job. I'm happy with it. It's not perfect, of course. It's hard to use summer paper for a Disney themed scrapbook, but you know what? It worked. It tells the story. It does what it needs to do. So stay tuned for episode 66, the title page, Magic Kingdom, part 2 or part 3 or day 5. I don't know yet. One of those things. Round 2, Magic Kingdom round 2. So stay tuned for that. All right, so these are the pictures from our last day, which is going to be one whole album, one day at Disney. But if there's any place you can do a whole day in one album, it's Europe or Disney. So I've got 2 that are in front of the train station, and then 6 that are in front of the castle. So I think, including this one that I love, but I think I might have used this to use on my original title page. I better look that up. But I think I'm going to do these separate. I need a title page for volume 3, so I'm going to split these and use these 2 pictures. And I had an idea in my head, but it was for 2 vertical pictures, and I don't really have an idea for 2, one vertical, one horizontal. But I do think I want to try and do Sweet Summer paper, which I think I used for all of the title pages. So let me pull that out. Okay, so this is what I got left of Sweet Summer. Sweet Summer was from last summer of 2024. I have some of the embellishments, but it's pretty specific to pool. But I love the colors. The colors just work for what we are wearing. So let's see what I've got left. That little piece with the purple. I love this pink, although now that I look at it, it's not the same pink. I don't know if that's gonna bother me. This one. Love this paper. I used a lot of this for my family reunion album, which ended up being five volumes, but lots of this starfish paper. One piece of the pink. Lots and lots of the starfish paper. Apparently that was the one I liked the least. I think the most beach specific for something that I was not doing beach. As you can see, I used multiple packs of this paper. I'm not someone that can just buy one pack of something and be happy. But that might mean that this isn't going to work for what I want to do. Which I don't know what that is yet. This might be a job for Pinterest, because I did have an idea in my head, but it was involved doing something like with my photos like this, 2 pieces together. And now I don't quite know what to do, because they don't work that way. I could do this. I don't really have embellishments or anything that are going to go along with this. I wonder if I have park maps or anything, because I love the whole 50th anniversary thing was fun. I think I'm going to have to do something with, again, with, a border or something to make my workable space, or the space I need to fill, smaller. Let's pull out Pinterest. All right, once again, I'm sure there's a way that I could patch patch this into the video, but I don't know what it is. So we're just going to do it this way. And I spent some time while I was visiting my daughter on vacation, organizing my Pinterest board. So now I have, just at the very top, I have all my creative memories, sort of by collection, my Disney scrapbook by theme, and then scrapbook layouts. I don't know what that one is. 46 pins, 25 sections. And then I have single page. So that's, I'm going to go to this one. And then I'm going to go to 2 photos and see. This one I kind of like because it has the squares, which I used on the first title page. And it lets me, you know, I could do a little border. That one's okay. This one has, I don't know how well you guys can see. This one has a diagonal line, which I kind of like. I think I'd flip it the other way. Anyway, I'm going to scroll through here a little bit, and then when I figure out what I'm going to do, I'll be back. I'll snip this part out of me looking through my Pinterest board. I'll try not to get distracted and fall into Pinterest, but you do not need to watch me scrolling through here. You can scroll through your own Pinterest or through mine. Okay, I think I'm going to go with this one with the squares, but I want to pull out the previous 2 albums and just kind of see what we did for the title pages on those. So album number 1, this is where I used this photo already. That's going to be on the next page. But this one had the 4 squares and then a panel. And then volume 2, we did a similar thing with 4 squares and a panel. So maybe I want to do something that kind of brings both of these back together. Use this kind of same idea. And I'll put just Magic Kingdom. Oh, look, this little ribbon edge got folded down when I put my page protector on. Ah. All right, I'll do something similar to this, I think. So not necessarily even the squares that I looked at on Pinterest. And I think I will go ahead and use up this, what I've got of this Fun in the Sun paper because I have it. Maybe I do want to do kind of a combination of those 2 with the squares. It would be easy. So it looks like it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 squares. Maybe 3 patterns or 4 patterns. They wouldn't be 3 inches. They're probably 2.5 inches. I think I'm going to cut some 2.5 inch squares from some of these scraps, maybe from some of these scraps even, and start playing with that. I'm going to want to mat the photos, perhaps in this. Oh, these are true 4x6s. I won't be able to mat them with this because I don't have quite enough. So I have to see something. I have a whole nother page of this, I think. So I could possibly use this to mat my photos. It's not the same pink, but I think it's okay. So here's this other piece of pink. So if I do that, then I wouldn't use pink as one of the squares, obviously. I could use the blue to mat the photos because then it won't matter what these words say, the words that I don't want to use. And I could use the blue to be a little frame around the layout because you can't really see the words. You'll just see random shapes. So let's see what I got here. Oh, look, lots of that. All right, let's cut some 2.5 inch squares. It's possible that they used 2 3/4 inch squares, which is this. Let me start with 2 3/4 inch squares because I can always make them smaller, but it's a lot harder to make a square bigger. And because these papers already seem to be cut to 2 3/4. some of these were the, that'd be kind of cool to leave that one with the sun in it. I love this one with the little specklies. I'm not real great at using up my scraps, especially when they're this small. I don't always keep them when they're this small. I do like it when I'm using these Power Project folders because I can fit them just in the pocket, and I do keep more pieces than I would ordinarily keep. Oh, I do love this stripe. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6. How many say I needed? 12. Okay, one of those. Yeah, I have several that are already cut to 2 3/4. I don't know if that's going to be enough because I do want to be able to trim it down. All right, I have all these that I saved. I did a layout idea from Chryslyn Matei that was on the CM blog, and these must be all the pieces that I saved from that. Okay, I've cut 12 squares. I may end up cutting some other pieces. I do love this speckle, but I also like the purple stripe, so we'll have to see. And I think it was done 1, 2. I'm not doing these in any kind of order. I did do this one with the cloud on purpose. 2 3/4. Maybe I want to go to 2 1/2 so that I can have a little bit more space. All right, and then I'll put my pictures here, and here. But if I mat these, then they're a little bit bigger. But I think I definitely want them matted. And I need that to tie in this blue. So maybe I don't use the blue. Maybe I use this. I mean, we're wearing jeans, so we could get away with the blue. But I don't think I used the blue on the other title pages. I'm wondering if this is too starfishy. If I use the pink as this background, then that limits how many of these squares I have. I think I'll use the blue, and I think I'm going to cut these down to 2 1/2. I kind of want to do the sun. I've got the sun and the cloud. I kept the cloud whole, but they're awfully close to the same design. But okay, let me trim all these down to 2 1/2. I won't, I would say I won't make you watch, but I mean, I know that you guys are perfectly capable of fast forwarding through, but I'm just gonna trim these down, and just to keep my videos from being overwhelmingly long. We will, I'll come back when they're all cut. So I've talked about scraps before, what kind of scraps I keep and don't keep. Ordinarily, I would not keep scraps this little, but because I have so many of them, there's 24 pieces, and I've got some of these other pieces because the way I cut these from scraps, I think I am going to save them. I got a little idea brewing in my head. We'll see if I do it for this album or for something else, but these I'm going to keep for some reason. We'll see. And because I have the folder to put them back in. So let's try this again. I may not be able to use the cloud one that I cut. All right, put these down. Another speckle. Oh, I'm not going to have... I only have 2 of this, so I'm not even going to use the purple, but I love the purple. It looks like I can cut 1 inch off and have an 11 by 11 piece. right here. I cut one extra. I don't know how I feel about this. These are so pastel. All right, I think that's going to work, and I think it is going to allow me to cut an inch off either side of this. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to gut out a frame for this one and start assembling. There's that 1 inch. There's another 1 inch. And then we're going to gut this guy out. And hopefully you guys know how to do this technique of cutting out a inside frame. You know, I think I actually made a how-to video on this a couple of years ago, but I might have set it to private and shared it with like a virtual pay-for crop that I was doing back. It might have even been way back during COVID, but if I can find it, I think it's probably time. Everybody needs that. All right, my edge is feeling a little not super smooth, but it doesn't quite look like it's time to do my mat, so I'm not going to turn my mat yet, but I'm going to cut this at 4 1/4. And the only way I can know to do it is to just cut 2 4 1/4 pieces, which again doesn't help me with the scraps thing. And then I need 6 1/4 because these don't look like they have any wiggle room to trim the photos down. Okay. All right, we'll put this guy on here. Oh no. Now I've got a whole inch around here. I don't want an inch. So I think what I'm going to do, I would like to do a border of this one. A double border. I didn't want to have a 1/2 inch around. I wanted to have like a 1/16 of an inch. So how do I need to do this? Then I need more than a 1/4 inch on each side here. I need 3. I need to measure. Get my trusty ruler out. I should be able to do this math. I want just a 1/4 inch, so an 1/8 of an inch. So I need to just cut a 1/4 inch off this paper. That's going to give me a 1/4 inch, an 1/8 of an inch mat, a 1/4 of an inch mat. I do prefer that to have mats that have a little bit of variety in size. So yeah, I just need to cut a 1/4 of an inch off either side of this, and that will give me the 1/8 of an inch. I mean, I got tons more of this paper. I could cut it bigger, but I think it's the size I want it to be. I just wasn't really tracking. All right, so there's the 1/4 of an inch on that side. And then the good news is I don't have to really do any math to gut out the middle of this one, because I know that I still want a 1 inch frame for measuring. So I'll just start here with the blade at 1 inch, so the housing is at 2 inch, and I'll stop once my edge of my housing gets to the edge of the paper. Right like that. And once you've mastered the 1 inch inside frame, you can figure out how to do any of the others. But it's such a great technique for saving your paper, and especially when it's a paper that you like, and you don't want to use it all up before you have to, or cover up most of it. But it also works to make your books not as heavy. And I maybe have said this before, but the older I get, the more I notice when my books are so heavy that they're uncomfortable. Okay, I like that. Should have moved these before I put this down. And it's funny because I'm looking at it now thinking, oh man, I need a blue square. I don't need a blue square because my photo mats are going to be blue. They're right here. There's the sun. I think I want it. And I think that it went all the way, didn't it? It filled in this whole space. I don't know about this one. This is too, it's very subtle. I guess if I put them here behind kind of the, where the pictures are going to go. All right, I'm one short. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. And then I'll have one of these right here. Oh, that's not gonna fit. Oh yeah, well, it'll barely fit. Okay, I'm gonna stick the background pieces down and then I'll figure out my real arrangement of these. And I think I need my mat. I was telling my husband that, you know, I'm thinking I need to replace my whole work surface mat because it's getting a little bit dingy. And he said, no, I love it. I feel like it gives character to your workspace, to your videos. I'm like, well, okay. But it definitely shows that I'm a real actual scrapbooker and I don't just do this to look pretty on, on the TV. I'm not an influencer. Which is not to say that people who have lovely desktops are influencer or, you know, not legit in any way. Okay. I don't mind if this little best vacation kind of peeks out a little bit. You know what? Actually, I did this one first, but I think this will be easier to put down once I've adhered that to it. So we're going to do that. The moving the little inside frame squares, they're kind of flimsy and it's harder to keep them straight. All right, now this one I'm going to, because it's got adhesive on already, I'm going to stick it down. Just to the mat. Oh, it's not going to fit. Well, we'll put it on the sides anyway. All right. And then does that look even? All right, and then this one. Yeah, see how this is now kind of holding together? It's gonna be a lot easier for me to position it. Just that 1/8 of an inch. All right, there we go. I'm liking that. Okay, and now I want to make sure that these are pretty straight. I'm kind of putting these two pink ones toward the middle. So here's the 6-inch line. And there's the 0, so it's probably right about here. right about there. Had it all, you know, figured out what I was doing with the... That goes, I think I might need to space it a little bit differently. Okay, yeah, I have to space it out a little bit more. And I probably could measure it and figure it out so that it's exact, but it feels like a lot of work. Just getting the spacing right is a lot of work. About 1/8 of an inch. Maybe 1/8 and a half. It's not 1/4 of an inch. Although I could scoot it in a little bit and keep the spacing smaller and then leave a little bit more of a border. That might just be the easiest thing. Oh, curses. I'm going to have to do some math, I think. I don't really love these two together. Okay, let's do some math. This is 11. 2.5 times 4 equals 10. And this is 11 inches, so I have an extra inch. That's hardly doing math. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections, so it can't be 1/4 of an inch, but it needs to be more than 1/8 of an inch. I have no idea. 2/10 of an inch. Too bad I can't use my circle cutter to measure, because they'd measured that one in 2/10 of an inch. All right, I'm just going to start, I think, from the middle. And we're going to use repo. There's actually 1/16 of an inch marks. I can't remember how to do math in fractions, but what if we did like 3/16 as our measurement? That's a terrible, obnoxious measurement. Oh, I don't want it to touch that. I want it to be 3/16 of an inch. Ah! All right, this is going to be super tedious to watch. So I think I'm going to position all of these down and get them straight and then come back. I'm bored watching me do it, and so I don't want to make you guys bored. But I kind of am just using this measurement. I'm going out less than 1/8 of an inch, about halfway between the 1/8, just to kind of see. And I think I'm actually going to turn this and then do the next ones this way. And you don't have to watch. I'll be back. Okay, I spent far too much time fiddling with this, but I think I've got them relatively straight, relatively evenly spaced. The edges are buckling up a little bit because I picked them up so many times. Let's put a little repo on those flipping up corners. Hope for the best. All right, and then we'll take our 2 photos and mat them on here. Actually, I'm going to have to trim that a little bit. Real. I guess I shouldn't call it real. Repositionable tape runner is real. It's just repositionable. Saying permanent is a bit much. Huh. They're totally different cases. I can tell by looking which one is which, but I don't look. I just grab. All right. I think it's okay if I go off the, well, I could just line up right with the sides of these squares. I wish I could go either off or in. I'd rather go in. I really like that. Well, I think that's okay, actually. That way you can still see some of these other colors. In the sample picture, that it all stays within the squares. But the only way to do that would be to push these squares all the way out to the edges, and I have no idea what the measurements would be. So, I mean, I guess I could trim these down and do more of like a 1/16 of an inch mat. I guess I could just do it this way and cut 1/8 of an inch off, because these are 4 1/4. If I do them at 4 1/8, that's going to give me just a little hair of a mat. And actually, the picture doesn't feel like it's either. The picture's not quite 6 inches. It's a smidge shy of 6 inches, or possibly my cutting is not precise because it's not quite centered. But we'll just smooth this guy out. There we go. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim these down. There's only 2, so I'm going to try and cut this word off the top. 1/8 and 4 1/8. I don't feel too bad about trimming a photo mat down just by this much, because it's probably, you know, I wouldn't have used, I mean, I would either have used it anyway or would have thrown it away. So, not quite straight. There we go. Now I've got them, the squares poking off the sides. I think I need to trim that down a hair more. I do not know what the technical term for a hair is, but just a little tiny piece. And I can't decide if I want to center that in these squares. I think I like it kind of up higher. Yep. So right about there. So often when I do an album series, when I do multiple albums of the same event or the same year, with my family albums, I really like that the title pages to be the same. And often I don't even put any photos on the title page, because I do so regularly work in double page spreads that I don't have a lot of single page layouts that can just, you know, naturally fit in that space. So for me to do part of the story as the title page is a little bit different for me. So for this one, we colored in sticker letters for the title. I don't want to say I'm getting tired of coloring sticker letters, but it does take some time. But I don't think we have like the right color. This blue is not the color of the sticker letters that we had. And I don't know what embellishments I can use. I mean, it is the celebration. I'd like to stick with the sweet summer. Which I've used most of the stickers up because I've used this so much. So that's going to be tricky. I can use having a blast. Can't use summer break. Oh, look, I have a whole set. Oh, I don't have a whole set. I have one page left, but none of these work. They all say summer, summer, perfect weather. I mean, I could do that. I don't know that I love that. Flip-flop kind of day, hot, hot, hot. I could trim these. This one says bike ride, road trip. I could cut that off and just say ride and trip. I don't know. It feels like I'm stretching a lot. Oh, so I do have more stickers. We could do the fan for sure, the sunglasses. I mean, not the fan, the camera. I think that's kind of just what we'll do is the same thing. Now I'm remembering that on the first title page, I drew dot pens and stuff in here. The camera, the sunglasses. And I'll do 2 pair of sunglasses because, you know, Katie and I are wearing sunglasses and poor Michelle was just having to wear her regular glasses. I don't want to do popsicles. I don't want to do snow cones. I could do having a blast. I do need to journal somewhere, and I could just journal in one in these squares, or I could journal down here. Sweet treats, we definitely eat those at Disney. Yeah, I don't think any more of these. I mean, we got ice cream. I could do ride, ice cream, trip, lazy. No. I wish I could do like magic or something on here. Magical day or something. I could do I'm a fan. 'Cause ain't that the truth? That's always the hard part about, you know, I love the Creative Memories paper that you can really use it for whatever you want, but the stickers do tend to be much more themed for what they think the paper is designed for. And for this one, that was summer. I could use fun. I need something. Oh, I got the sun. That can kind of count as a embellishment. I've apparently used fun both times. Now I could use vacation. I wish it said food, because I could do ride, trip, food. But I think I'll just stick with fun vacation, having a blast up here. There's not even any like little stars or anything that go with this. You know, sometimes they'll have like a little sprinkle, and this one it's all little, I mean, it's these little starfish stars, but I don't want to use starfish for this. I want people to ignore the starfish up here. All right, so now I guess I'm gonna write Magic Kingdom up here. I'm gonna have to color in white sticker letters again, darn it. Luckily, I have lots of them, including a new pack. Apparently 2 new packs. Oh no, this is the same one. Nope, it is 2 new packs. I ordered like 5 packs of these. I think they might be gone. And I'm gonna do this same purple that I used before, which I think is this one. So you guys have seen me color letters 100 times. I'm going to color the letters, and then I gotta let them dry. So it takes a little while. So I'm gonna have to figure out something else to do. Maybe I can journal while they're drying and then put them back on. And then when I get it all together, I'll be back. Okay, I didn't wait quite long enough for my Magic Kingdom letters to dry, so my fingers got a little bit of purple on them, and I had to go back in and touch up. I used the dot tip pens to color it in. I used the dot tip side when I colored it here on the sticker sheet, but when I went back, I just fixed the little fingerprints and things with the fine tip side, and I think it looks fine. I just journaled that thanks to the my husband being in the military, we were able to get discounted military tickets, and this year's ticket was a 5-day park hopper, which meant we had 1 more day to choose which park we needed more time in. It was easy to pick the original. I want to say the OG, but I don't know if that's a little too slangy, and I'm too old for that. The original Magic Kingdom. We bought the pink shirts early in the week just so we could wear them today. So Magic Kingdom, I think when this is completely dry, I might write day 5 up here with just the same blue dual tip marker. But I like it. It tells the story. I journaled. It works as a title page, I think. So these are the other pictures, and I think next week when we do the next page, I think I may try and use Sweet Summer too, just to wrap it up. I'd love to use up all the rest of what I have of Sweet Summer to clear out that folder. I don't know what I'll do with some of the extra pieces I'll never use. I maybe just need to have a bin of random stuff and then challenge myself to do something with it. But I think we're at week 66. I think week 65 was last week. And what a great place to start our final volume in this 3-volume scrapbook of my Disney World trip with my daughters in March of 2022. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you next week. Until then, stay warm and happy scrapbooking.